The leaders have all gone away now. They've left, right? Some are flying home. But let me tell you, the negotiators are still hard at work. They're not done. They're still trying to hammer out that formal statement, that formal agreement that usually comes out of these things so they can all say, we agreed to some principles, we all signed, pat ourselves on the back, this is where we're going to go moving forward. So they're still working that out. They usually get there, but in 2018 and 2019, they were not able to come up with statements. And of course, everyone's always a little disappointed when that happens. So we'll see if they can get that done in the next few hours. But in the meantime, this afternoon, the individual member economies will be holding their news conferences to wrap things up. Japan, a key U.S. ally, will hold one, and our producer, Lindsay Nakano, will get to ask a question there of the Japanese Prime Minister. Meanwhile, I had an opportunity to chat with the Cabinet Secretary for Public Affairs, Mr. Noriyuki Shikata, about what Japan got out of the summit. Here in San Francisco in the Bay Area and in California, we have a huge Japanese-American population. Is it special for you?
Sure, of course, our relations, date back to 1860s. And after that, we have seen Japanese immigrants coming to San Francisco. And in today's situations, tourists, students, business people coming to San Francisco Bay Area and broader the state of California.
Japanese tourism to the Bay Area has certainly always been a major driver of our engine of growth and economic activity. It was a little slow during the pandemic. There was closure, certainly. Do you expect that to pick up now?
Sure, of course. So we have more flights connecting between Japan and the United States. And when more American people come to Japan, say from the state of California, San Francisco, that means there will be probably more Japanese coming to the region. So it's going to be both way. And next year is U.S.-Japan tourism year. And I hope that the more Japanese tourists will also come to San Francisco area.
Oh, the tourism year. Does that mean special offers, special promotions?
Why not? We are trying to promote washoku, Japanese food, cuisine, especially seafood, including sushi, and sake in the United States. And of course, San Francisco area hosts Japantown,
Yes.
which is actually very attractive for Japanese tourists too.
The food is great, let me tell you. Let me ask you, the U.S. and Japan are, of course, the two biggest democratic economies in the world. And as such, I wonder if you feel like there's a special role to demonstrate that this is a model that can promote prosperity for all.
We are working on issues like what we call green transformation or decarbonization of economies. So many Asian countries are growing very rapidly. And it's very important for us to apply our technologies, technology solutions to address, those climate change challenges, which would translate into new business opportunities.
Is there a way to do this equitably and recognizing those who had traditionally been left out of the economic prosperity?
So Prime Minister Kishida has been advocating a new form of capitalism, which intends to address three major issues: income disparity, the gap between the center and the countryside, and climate change issues. So with the cooperation between the United States and Japan, we can address those social issues emerging in many of Asian countries, especially in megacities.
I know there are a lot of technological investments planned. Can you talk about some of that, especially between Japan and California?
Sure. So Prime Minister will be visiting Stanford. We'll be discussing issues like how we would be promoting cooperation between U.S. and Japan and maybe Korea in areas like semiconductor, quantum computing, or biotechnologies, among others. And the state of California hosts so many very important venues, including colleges and universities.
For sure, we have some of the best, right?
Yes.
And of course, the chain of semiconductors, that's really important to keep that flowing. I want to ask you, though, in terms of reducing the need for fossil fuels and developing renewable energy, what can Japan and the U.S. work on together?
Yeah. So because we don't have a huge domestic energy resources, we are exploring all the energy options, including renewable energy, solar, wind, and nuclear. So civil nuclear power generation is one area where there's a promising collaboration between Japan and the United States in terms of, for example, small modular reactors, or toward the future, nuclear fusion. And we are also promoting hydrogen and ammonia, and I understand that there is emerging hydrogen supply chain in the state of California.
Yeah, I can't wait to dive more into that in the months ahead. I wanted to ask you, though, in terms of security cooperation with the U.S., given the world situation, Russia and North Korea and China, I wanted to ask you, what do you think we can do together, and whether economics is closely tied to security?
Sure. So in Japan or in East Asia, we are facing a very challenging and complex security landscape with North Korea missile threats or nuclear program, or China's rise in military spendings, or collaboration between China and Russia. And in those developments, there is so much opportunities and importance for United States and Japan to cooperate, including with other like-minded countries like South Korea, Australia, and the Philippines.
Secretary Shikata, is your government happy with what's come out of the APEC summit?
Sure. Besides APEC summit, there is also ongoing process of negotiation called IPEF, Indo-Pacific Economic Frameworks. And I'm hoping that this afternoon there will be a leaders meeting consisting of IPEF members. And we have reached agreement on supply chain, which means that among those Indo-Pacific members, there will be better supply chains on items like semiconductor.
Secretary Shikata, I know this is a working trip for you, but have you had a chance to enjoy any parts of the San Francisco Bay Area? Any favorite restaurants, favorite tourism spots?
Well, I tried some Japanese food in San Francisco, which is actually really great.
Oh.
And also, I had an occasion to visit the suburbs of San Francisco, including UC Berkeley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's where I went to school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a great school. Yeah.
Thank you, Secretary Noriyuki Shikata. Really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today.
It's a great pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Will the two leaders discuss economic?
I had to give him so many more bonus points after he told me that UC Berkeley was a great school, right? Look, while the U.S. and Japan definitely have that special relationship, they had multiple meetings together. They issued multiple joint statements together. Japan's prime minister actually had a one-on-one with Chinese President Xi Jinping at the summit as well. And despite the two countries' differences on territorial rights in the seas, Taiwan, semiconductors, and nuclear waste issues, they pledged to try to reduce tensions and also work together to build a constructive relationship. Now, one last act for President Biden before leaving San Francisco and flying to Philadelphia. He was handing over the APEC chair, the chair role, to Peru's President Dina Boluarte. That title gets passed along to the president of the host country next time, and of course next year the APEC summit will be in Cusco. Peru has gone through its share of political turmoil. Boluarte was named president last year after the previous leader was removed by Congress. That action sparked massive protests and was somewhat controversial here at the APEC summit as well. They had that family photo, the group photo, and there was some that didn't want to stand too close to Boluarte because of that. So always a little bit of drama, but now the photo, as awkward as it was taken, and now it just remains to be seen whether they will have that statement, that formal acknowledgement that these are the principles we all agree to, a real sign of success if they can get there. So, Dion, we will continue to watch that for you and see if they get that done.